Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For those that have not had me yet for a class, I am Michael Hanley, the course director for Project and Portfolio 2. I am here today with a man who I could say needs no introduction, but I figured I could at least give a little bit of one. The introduction I'm going to give is the man is here to talk teaching philosophy and to talk about his journey. But this is a man who embodies the educational journey because when I asked for a bio, I didn't get a bio that said, I worked here for this long, I worked here for that long. He put into his bio his philosophy. So therefore, it's something that is ingrained in him. So I'd like to introduce the currently working in digital cinematography in the Project and Portfolio 2 class, but going on to other adventures is Mr. William Kavan. Woo!
Oh, thank you, Mike.
I didn't have the Procaster 2 up. I was going to try and do the applause, but I didn't have time. So,
Oh, no, it's fine.
Mr. Kavan, let me open up with a very broad question statement. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself that you feel is important as an introduction to the students about who you are? Who are you as a filmmaker, as a teacher? Just go for it.
Sure. I think boiling all of that down and finding out who and what you are is kind of an important thing in life. And I would say it 46 years of messing around trying to figure out exactly what it is and how it flows. I think I'm pretty much fallen into this vein of I have become a student of the things that are around me and a friend of the people that I walk with. Whether that is in teaching, professional life, personal life, whatever. Everything around us is amazing in one form or another. Maybe it's my age, but I really have started to get into the phase of, those roses do smell nice. Why do they smell nice? Why do I think they smell nice? Do other people think they smell nice? Do they think they smell the same way that I do? And if so, what is that target market and exactly how do I reach that demographic?
And the question is, are they actually roses if you go by the full perspective?
Well, I was going to talk about a quote, actually a misquote.
Go ahead.
A misquote of Marcus Aurelius. It's everything we hear is opinion, not fact. Everything we see is perspective, not truth. Which is an interesting thing to talk about and an interesting way to go. It is, though, that it is not a quote by Marcus Aurelius. And if you don't know who Marcus Aurelius is, he was a Roman emperor around 180 to like 160th BC. So, but basically the quote talks about that everything we hear is opinion, not fact. And I think that's a very interesting way to look at things. And the fact that everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. It's such a wonderfully debatable piece. Part of me kind of wants to debate it anyway, just because that's the type of person I am. Yeah, Mike knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about on here. And this is the one thing that's interesting about a teaching philosophy. We develop our philosophy as we go along. So I have got to ask, I've got to set the Wayback Machine and say to you, this is the point you're at right now. But what was the point that you basically said that you wanted to be a storyteller? You wanted to express yourself with visual stories and express that passion and everything. Was there that first aha moment of doing this?
Okay, so I don't normally share this story.
Okay.
But I will. So when I was in kindergarten, I used to draw a lot. I still draw quite a bit, actually. But I used to draw a lot. And I was in kindergarten. And there was a girl that I really just wanted to talk to, but I was afraid to talk to people in general back then. And I drew this picture, and then I went to show it to her, and then I got scared, and I put the picture behind my back, and she reached her arms around me and took the picture from my hands. She effectively gave me a hug, which, I mean, technically nowadays that's one step shy of sexual harassment, but I wasn't complaining at the time. But it was just this crazy moment of, and then she looks at it and she talks about how cool it was, which oddly enough, it was a picture of superheroes. But she talked about how cool it was and the fact that it meant something to her. And from there forward, I just started going, okay, well, if I draw things, people like them. And I can tell people things through my drawings, through images. And I literally started that when I was in kindergarten. Like, I just started going, what is it? What can I tell this person? Yeah.
So you had that aha moment of drawings. Okay. Did you pursue eventually to do drawing professionally? Where did you go with this because you got encouragement in kindergarten. So what kind of encouragement did your parents give you as you were going along in this journey?
Oh my gosh. My mom was so behind me on things. I do, save for a few tragic events in life, I did have a very good childhood with my parents, things like that. My mom passed away when I was 7, though. So, but up until then, everything was just awesome sauce. She was incredibly caring, incredibly giving, and really just behind me in every way. And if I was trying to draw something or if I wanted to create something, she would find a way to miraculously make the material show up. So I got to experiment and I got to play with that for years. After she passed, my grandfather and my grandmother picked up that same torch. So anytime I would draw something or build something, they were my biggest cheerleaders.
So,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. When you take those pauses, I don't know if you're done with the answer or if you're doing the Kavan moment. So I try to watch for them.
It's fair. I do Kavan moments a lot.
I dealt with them for how many years before you left? Like about 6?
Roughly.
7? Yeah, something like that.
That is a great question.
I'm going to answer that
in
question.
a second.
I'm going to give my point of view on that one, and then I'll let Bill continue. If you have any questions, I'll try and see them in chat, but most of the questions will be I'm going to get to at the end of ours. But what I meant by a Kavan moment is when you get to know people that are creative, you can see the wheels turning. That's what I mean by that moment, because his last name is Bill Kavan. His last name is Kavan, and so I've gotten used to calling it that Kavan moment, that moment where you can just tell that lightning is just static going through his brain. That was part of the reason I wanted to interview him tonight. So go ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I found out a long time ago that I talk, I think, much faster than I speak. And for a long time, it got me in a lot of trouble because I was saying things that I really just shouldn't be saying. Everything from fragmented sentences to just things that sometimes would hurt people's feelings because I didn't take a second and actually go, what is the implication of the words I'm about ready to use? So now, as soon as my brain starts going fast, I pause. I also study a lot on communication, especially oral communication, because the more you can affect someone in small moments, the better chance you have of actually having a true connection and either teaching or building a relationship in that moment. So one of the things that I've looked at a lot is, when is the appropriate time to pause? How long that pause should be, what you can do with those moments. It's hard to tell now, but a lot of times I'll do hand movements or slight hand gestures. I'm a little close on my camera, so it's not as easy to see. But it gives your audience a chance, it gives who you're speaking to that moment to sink in, understand what you've said, and start to formulate their own opinions on what you're saying. And one of the tricks that I am very happy to share with you guys is that when you are speaking to someone that way, it's a little hard over Zoom, but when you are person to person, if you watch for their body language, you can actually begin to see how they are reacting to what you are saying. So during that quick pause, you can take the next sentence and either zig or zag, depending on where you want them to go.
And that's an interesting thing, because when we're looking at script writing, a lot of times the pauses between action lines is that same render time. That's what a lot of people don't give in visual story, is render time on there. And I think that's why the drawing sounds like a good start, because when you have to stop and look at one image, you start forming your own perspective out of it as well. So you wind up having it to where you can have in your brain what you wanted on that image, but other people are going to interpret that image. How many people were you noticing that people were interpreting the things you were drawing the same way you were presenting them? Or did you see people were starting to have maybe a little bit of a different perspective, or getting what more than you thought they would get out of it?
Oh no, for years I was rubbish at it. I think everybody is. I think it's something that I want to make sure that people hear as well, is the fact that no, you're not good at this at first. You can have a natural talent, and you can have a natural talent to being good at something. But until you can actually stop and go, okay, right now in frame, my eyes are about halfway through. So if I take and I move my camera just a tidgen, not enough that I start cropping my hair off, but enough that I throw my eyes back up on the third line, and then move my body so I'm a little more centered frame, it starts feeling more and more like a news reel. But if I stay over here, it's going to continue to feel something along the lines of your more filmic type interviews. And it's the same thing with drawing. How people have looked at the visual storytelling and visual communication, especially over the last 100 years, all of these art forms and all of these pieces have been merging together. So when you look at a still image of any kind, you're using the same language that you do when you're looking at something that's 16 by 9 or any other filmic aspect ratio, like where things fall in the thirds, how you're utilizing any one of 100 different art rules, how the contrast ratios play between the sides of the face to engage your audience. The fact that I'm top lit right now versus had I been able to take the light from the side a little more. You're going to hear all sorts of stuff, and some of you may already know these tips and tricks, but they do go across art forms. And I think that's been one of the biggest blessings of my career, is I have bounced around different versions of visual storytelling my whole life. I know we've kind of spent some time on drawing and stuff for the last few minutes. Drawing actually led me to wanting to be a comic book artist when I was a teenager. Biggest goal in life, I wanted to draw Batman and I wanted to draw the Hulk. Like that was like my thing. It's where I wanted to go. So to do that, I had heard about this Comic-Con so Motor City Comic-Con out of Detroit. I lived in Michigan at the time. So we drove all the way across Michigan, my friend and I, to go to the Motor City Comic-Con. I've got my portfolio under my arm. I'm barely 16 years old, but they are looking for brand new artists to work on stuff. And I'm like, that's my dream gig. This is what I want. So we get to the Motor City Comic-Con. It's a good story, I swear. I get to the Motor City Comic-Con, and there is a line coming out the front door of the building all the way down the side. And if you guys have ever seen a convention center, you know these things are not small. And there is a line that comes out the front door and all the way down the side of this convention center. And I'm just like, whoa. I mean, I'm fashionably late, but I didn't think I was that fashionably late. Ooh. So I'm talking to my friend, and he's like, yeah, it's going to take us forever to get in. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So we pull up, and all of a sudden we start seeing people just like walk in the front door, and they were passing this line like crazy. So I kind of walked up, and that's when all of a sudden my brain kicks in, and I'm like, these people are holding portfolio looking things. So I walked up to him, and I'm like, hey, what's the line for? How's it going? Da, 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 da. Yeah, it turns out this incredibly huge line, which not only wrapped around the outside of the building, but wrapped around the inside of the building all the way to the DC booth, was a bunch of people here trying to get their portfolios checked out to get the job that I wanted. And they were like, oh, we're so excited. And, this guy keeps holding this ticket. You guys ever see those paper tickets they used to give out when you go in the store and they're like, now serving number whatever? They used to have these crazy ticket number things. So they've all got this ticket number. And I'm like, well, what's your ticket number? And they're like, oh, and it's like 350 something. I don't even remember. But I will never forget what the guy says, because he looks me dead in the eyes and he's like, they said they're going to get through number 150. And all I can think of is, you just told me you had like 250. And I'm like, what are you, they're never going to get to. And he goes, oh, no. We're all in line for the next couple of days. When people get out of line and leave, they lose their spot. So I figure if I just stand here until Sunday, it's Friday. If I stand here till Sunday, I should be able to get in. And that's when 16-year-old me went, I'm 16. You look like you're in your 30s or 40s. You've got 3 days to wait. I'll come back next year. And I just went inside. I was a sad, cocky little man at that time. But I went in, I wandered around the convention, I met a bunch of people, and I come to this weird little booth in the back corner. And they've got TVs out. I'm going to age myself pretty bad right now, because these are like CTR, the old CTR, like heavy, like round front televisions. This is 1994, guys. So it's 1994. I'm wandering around and they're playing movie trailers on this TV. And I stop for a second because I'm like, oh, hey, I think I saw that movie on Cinemax the other day. These guys are like, this guy walks up to me, and it was one part TV, one part like car salesman, and like one part like motivational speaker. But this guy just walks up to me. He's like, hey, how's it going? We make movies here. And I'm just like, okay. I was completely uninterested. It was crazy. And this guy just proceeds to take 45 minutes and try to explain to me that movies are awesome and I should want to be in the movie business. And he's like, well, do you do storyboards? Do you do like concept art? And guys, this is the 90s. Nobody talked about that stuff in the 90s, especially in the middle of like nowhere, Michigan. Like this wasn't a thing. So I'm just talking to the guy and I'm like, yeah, no, that's no. And we talk, he had me cornered there for almost an hour and a half and just started going over and over things. And finally, he's like, well, let me see your portfolio. So I show him the portfolio and he's like, I really love your work. You do a great job, blah, 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 blah. Would you consider doing storyboards and stuff for us? And I'm just like, no. And finally, he makes this offhand comment and it just clicks hard. He's like, yeah, we pay $75 a page. And all of a sudden I went, $75 a page? Wait, what? The job offer that I was at that convention for, they were going to pay brand new artists $75 a page for an 11 by 17 fully rendered in pencil picture per page that takes 8.5 to 12 hours to draw. This guy looked at me and went, hey, you're going to put 1 to 3 of those on an 8.5 by 11 paper, and I'm going to give you the same amount of money, and they can be really fast. That is how I got in the entertainment industry. That's how I started getting into films. Because it was like, yeah, I can draw those. I can draw those real fast. And that's kind of how storytelling went from, hey, here's my picture, to making movies.
So you're doing images. Okay. So you wound up being that you were the artist, you were wanting to be there, you had the stills, storyboarding artists. Yeah. For those that don't know, a lot of filmmakers, when you're getting up more and you're having more of the hierarchy and you've got more of a crew, do not have how should I put this, time to do their own storyboards. So they do rely on artists for coming in on that, but a lot of times they have a lot of the stuff kind of, I would say basically, I've seen stuff where somebody has handed some people stick figures and gone, I need the entire set drawn out on a storyboard on there. And basically what I need to know is, okay, you got coerced there. What made you stand there for the hour and a half instead of going, I'm really kind of here for this convention? What kept you there?
I was just blown away by this guy that wouldn't shut up. Like there's no other way to put it. He literally, his passion for storytelling and his passion for getting other people into storytelling, it was like a black hole. It was infectious. There was no way to leave. Like it was crazy. My friend left and came back like 10 times.
I was going to say, what happened to your friend?
Oh my gosh. He left. He went and got pictures with like the lady they had dressed up as Catwoman. And like, he came back with all sorts of crazy comics and stuff. And I'm just standing here going, okay, yeah, I really do, but I need to go. And they talked about how they were going to meet with Mark Hamill that week for a movie that they were doing. And they were meeting with all sorts of actors and stuff. And half of them I knew their names and half I didn't. But like, it was just, I just couldn't leave. It was crazy.
So you get the gig doing storyboards. So I'm assuming that because you were doing the storyboards, you were getting towards heading on the set, getting a little more camera work. Had you at any point touched a camera before you did these storyboardings? Have you played around with any kind of camera?
So my grandfather was a photographer and still photographer, amateur, really liked getting landscape photography and like, I guess street photography is the best way to put it. But it was never something like he handed me the camera a few times, but it's not like he took me out and went, hey, this is how you frame something. This is how you do something. Everything I got imagery wise came from drawing comics. And at the time there was 2 or 3 books out there, Will Eisner's book. And then there was Sal Buscemi and Stan Lee's book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way.
Can you go ahead and say who those people are?
Oh, sure. Will Eisner is considered one of the greatest visual storytellers in the non-sequential art form, which is comics, comic books, graphic novels, those type of things. Will Eisner's, it's funny to say, but he literally wrote the book on how to do this and how to do it well. How he talks about time in between panels almost completely correlates to the differences between L cuts, J cuts, transitions. It's amazing. It's so crazy how well these things transfer over.
Okay, so, and the other names, the interesting thing is that a lot of people, unless they're into complete pop culture, don't know these names on there. And that's one of the things that I discovered when I did a panel one time, that I had comic book enthusiasts of the art and of the movies. And the two sometimes didn't exactly mesh because there is a different mindset of the storytelling by the panel versus storytelling by the individual 24 to 30 frames per second on things. Or in the old days of Saturday morning cartoons, 12 frames doubled up. Oh, that was a headache. But okay, so still you're still in the static, that you're still in the single image, and we
Mhm.
know that an image tells, a painting tells thousand words, a photograph, and we all form our own perceptions from what we see in stills. When did you make that transition of thinking, okay, visual storytelling, which is this overarching thing that now when we talk about it is motion visuals, that kind of stuff, film, video, that kind of thing. What was your first hands on with motion?
So when I was working with those guys on, um, I don't even, I'm trying to remember what the movie's called now, but when they were shooting it, you guys will find out that you can get production funds, but if you don't get finishing funds, sometimes it takes 15 years to finish a movie. So I'm working on this film with these guys, and I ended up working with the special effects department, and at the same time. So I started learning special effects makeup, a little bit of stunt coordination, things like that. And at the same time, I also started talking to the guys in the camera department. And I took all of the money that I had made over like that 6-month period, and I bought a couple of things. And one of the things that I bought was a VHS-C camera. So I took this camera to set, and I was like, hey, can I shoot some behind the scenes stuff? Like, I'd love to just get video of us like setting up the camera, setting up for the special effect shots, all that kind of stuff. And they were like, okay. But I ended up getting to the point where I spent almost more time behind a camera than I was doing the makeup stuff. Thankfully, most of the makeup work we did was not on set, and it was just applying it stuff on set. So I didn't get in too much trouble. But yeah, out of a 14-hour day, I probably spent 10 of it behind the camera getting behind the scenes footage.
And that's actually
And
something
then,
that's still
yeah.
a valid thing today, of people can get gigs doing behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So you were out there getting stuff for them that they didn't even think about that they could use. How did they react to your stuff? How were they reacting to getting the behind the scenes? Because they're seeing themselves. As far as I look at behind the scenes, when it comes to people that aren't used to doing it, is almost like having those the films that you study when you're playing a sport, where you're
Mm-hmm.
seeing yourself actually performing and doing it, and you go, "Wait, is that what I did?" So how did they react to your footage when you started showing them these behind the scenes?
Well, one of the first things they talked about was they loved the fact that I was doing it. They thought my framing was great. Um, their biggest complaint was that I was shooting it on a VHS-C camera, so that they really couldn't use any of the footage for any of the EPKs or at that time press kits or anything else they were working on. They're like, yeah, this just isn't going to work well for us, but we love what you're doing. Keep doing it, type of thing. They didn't pay me for it, which is fine. I wasn't trying to get a job doing that. I was just kind of having fun while I was bored on set at times. That's what you do when you're, I think I want to say I was almost 18 at that point.
So what was the
Um,
job you were supposed to be doing, or was it while you were still doing storyboards for them and you'd show up to the set with your camera?
I was doing special effects makeup at that time.
Okay, so you transitioned into makeup.
Hmm.
So you have been doing everything behind the scenes so
Hmm.
far on a lot of stuff. What is your official, if I was to say right now, as a filmmaker, what are you? Can you list one specific job in the film industry that you would say I am right now?
Oh, as of now, I'm a producer.
Okay. So you have gone from standing in a convention with your with your drawings to now being a producer.
Mhm.
And how many years ago was this?
About
That you were
30.
16? Huh?
About 30.
Okay. Hey, I'm willing to admit I'm
Yeah.
57. So
No, that's what I'm saying. It's about 30-year journey.
uh,
No,
you were
it's one of those. Mike, I've bounced around on a lot of those things.
Mhm.
Um, to be honest, I really wish I would have picked something a little earlier and jumped in one direction. I think I would have been a little farther down the line. Honestly, if I would have picked anything, like, if I could go back and talk to young Bill, I would have been stick with cinematography. Producing is awesome. I'm super happy that I've gotten into it. Technically, all my business cards and reels and everything now say producer, cinematographer. But I would have definitely stayed with cinematography more. It is the embodiment of being able to tell something visually that way. And I think that one of the things that, especially the people listening to us now, there is a lot more to being a cinematographer than they're used to. It's more than just being able to do it in live action. One of my favorite things out there right now is the Unreal Engine. And the cinematography work that I can do in Unreal is amazing. It's one of the biggest things I enjoy doing now.
But one of the things I want to touch on is the reason you're able to do it is you're translating real world into the Unreal Engine. So how good do you think you would be if you just went in there first instead of had the camera experience?
Honestly, it's literally the difference, because I know a lot of guys that do this now.
Yeah.
It's literally the difference of what cinematics look like in video games up until about 2-3 years ago tops, and now, and what's happening with things now. I mean, before, cinematics were always just a little off, because they're from people who, and there's nothing wrong, because you specialize in something. It's what you're supposed to do. It's how you become great at something. But most of these people that did that, their specialization is actually animation, not camera work. So the animation in there looks amazing, but the camera work is always going to be second to the animation that way. And it's only been in the last few years that people have been hiring digital DPs, basically.
So we got to get to one important thing that I've got to find out about. How did you become a cinematographer beyond the VHS-C? Because these guys said they couldn't use your footage, which means VHS-C was not exactly quite to the professional level thing. How did you get to the professional level?
So after doing that stuff, I started building haunted houses for a living. And while I was building haunted houses, I have. I've actually worked on the second largest haunted attraction in the country. I helped build part of it. I'm sure they've changed it out by now. It was a few years ago. But while I was doing all of that stuff, I actually came across a church. And it's a really crazy story. But I came across this church. So I went to this little town in Greenville, Michigan, and I'm driving past the gas station, and literally the gas is like 75 cents a gallon. And I'm just like, wait. And this is like 2003-ish. So gas is still a couple of bucks a gallon. It's not like it is now, but it's still like they bought it down well over $1. And it blew me away. I mean, there was a huge line, the whole 9 yards. So I passed it and I'm like, this line's too long. Because as every good story I have, I always look at the line, it's too long, and do something else. So I left. And the next day, I literally saw somebody out changing the numbers back down. So I was like, I've made it to the front of the line. Jumped in, And I bumped into this absolutely wonderful woman who started talking about this church that she was at, which I'm not like at that time I had no care in the world about religion at all. If anything, I had been burnt by the church and was not a very happy person about it. And basically, she kind of rope-a-doped me into going to their church one day because she's like, no, 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 it's like nothing you've ever seen before. I'm like, okay, sure, it isn't. We are still talking about a church, right? So I get to this church and I sit down. And the first thing that was weird was it wasn't a conventional building, it was a canvas building. So I almost felt like I was going into a big top. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking up at the stage, and all over the stage is parts of cars. And I don't mean like somebody's just like left an alternator there. I mean like the front half of a VW Bug is sitting on the stage. And there's all sorts of street signs and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. And then all of a sudden I hear it. I hear somebody revving a Harley Davidson. And as I'm turning my head to look behind me, this man goes shooting down the center aisle on a Harley Davidson and ramps it up onto the stage like Evel Knievel if he could only do a 2-inch jump. But like he rode Harley Davidson up on the stage and then turns around and everybody's all excited and stuff. And I'm just like, where am I? This is so weird. I grew up in a Lutheran church, so it's nothing like this. And all of a sudden he starts giving this sermon about how people need to have better connection with themselves and the people around them. And I was like, this is a really great sermon. This was awesome. I'm quasi happy I came today. So I walked up and I decided I would walk up and I'd tell the guy, hi, thank you. And I would go home and this would be the end of the journey here. So I walked up to him. I said, hey, how's it going? And he's like, oh, not too bad. And I was like, I just wanted to thank you. That was a really great sermon you just gave. And he's like, oh, thanks. And he's like, well, what do you do? And I just went, okay. So the pastor of a church just asked me what I do. I literally just drove home from building a haunted house, and I'm probably going to be working on a horror movie next weekend. Like, okay, so I make films, or help make films, and I build haunted attractions. And without skipping a beat, he looks at me and he goes, that's so cool. One of my favorite movies is Friday the 13th. And I just went, who are you? Where? What? And then he proceeds to look at me and call somebody else over. And I'm just like, oh no. So he calls this guy over and he literally looks at me and he goes, it's a godsend that you're here. I'm like, what do you mean? What? And he goes, we just got this brand new Avid editing system that just came out and nobody knows how to use it. And we just got these brand new DVX cameras that no one here knows how to use at all. And our video department director just moved to LA. But all the stuff just showed up in boxes. There's boxes sitting up there. We don't even know how to open it. Have you ever used those things? And I did what every smart person does in that moment. I said, yes. I know exactly how to use those things.
You were an actor? Because that's what actors do on everything. Of course I can.
Oh my gosh. And literally they were like, that's amazing. Come back on Friday and let's go over stuff. So I took between Sunday at 2:00 in the afternoon when I finally left and Friday, roughly noonish, and I became an absolute expert on how to use an Avid Express editing system when Avid Express first came out, which Mike knows that program and knows how horrific it is. It was horrific. First off, they didn't buy a computer that was really strong enough to do it, so it took 10 times longer to do than it should have. But the camera was the Panasonic DVX. I want to say it was the 100A. It was the first time they were using mini DV tapes this way. It was a beautiful camera. It was one of the ones that started the independent digital revolution. And I had 2 of them that they just went, here, take these. And I'm like, can I shoot anything I want to with them? And they went, okay.
Well, what were they wanting to use it for?
Oh, they just wanted me to shoot informational testimonial videos, stuff for the show on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah, just like normal like
So
church/corporate stuff that takes like 3 days a week to do. And the other 4 days a week, they were like, yeah, you can do whatever you want with them. Just don't break them.
So basically, you did the equivalent of, as long as you were doing the gigs they wanted, you borrowed the office computer to write your screenplay.
Yep, but I had permission. That's the big thing, guys. I had permission, because nowadays, with the contracts and stuff that are out there, you don't always get permission. But I had permission. It was serendipitous moments. But that's kind of how everybody's career goes. And I think for me, the biggest thing that I want you guys to hear from that is, you have to say yes for somebody to look at you and want to do something stupid. Like, this guy didn't know me, and he put like $30,000 worth of equipment in my hands in a week. Now, granted, I made some amazing stuff for them and they loved it. We almost tripled the size of the church while I was working there. But if I wouldn't have went, you know what? Okay, I'll go check this thing out. I don't really want to go. I don't like church. I don't like people. I don't like hanging out. Okay, whatever. If I wouldn't have walked up to the person and said, I really like the work you did, I never would have had that opportunity. I spent 3 years there doing stuff with them. And during that time, that's when I actually found out about Full Sail. They're the ones that actually went, you should go to school for this.
Okay,
They're the ones that pointed me to go to Full Sail.
Okay, so basically, you had all this under your belt, all this experience that you were doing, and it wound up taking you to a completely almost different direction on there because of a serendipitous moment. But you were willing to reinvent yourself, is the key.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things I think that as part of what I wanted to have you bring holistically here, which you have done, you've achieved my goal, is the idea. I hope that people are listening, that you didn't just say, I want to be this, and you were always saying, I want to be that, and be resistant as you discovered different opportunities, different things, because you were still doing visual storytelling. You were still framing, you were still compositing, you were still putting an image in the middle of a square box on there, well, rectangle on there. So, okay, so since, we'll give them a moment here. You've just thrown a little bit of a bombshell down on there. So you attended Full Sail.
Yes, I am an alumni.
Yeah, see, that's the trick. Sometimes you have to tell people something that they want to be surprised by. So surprise, he started here as an alumni. So what degree were you in?
I started with a film degree. They didn't have the digital cinematography degree when I went to school here. To be honest, if they would have had it, I'd have taken it in a heartbeat. It was everything I was looking for. It was how to create my own business, my own content with a camera and an editing machine. Boom. Like a part of me is kind of happy they didn't have it when I started, because taking the film program is what led to a whole slew of other amazing things that have happened in my life. So it's cool. It's cool that they didn't. I don't have regrets, but man, I would have if I had the chance. But no, I took the film program. It's actually where I met Mike for the first time.
And where did you, oh my God, that's right. I keep forgetting about that one. Go ahead, tell them, how did you meet me?
So first off, I should preface, I went back to school at 30. So I wasn't exactly 18 years old going to college with a smile on my face. I met Mike when he was working in the screenwriting class
I was teaching
because he
screenwriting
was
on
my
campus.
teacher.
Yeah, I was teaching screenwriting on campus. I've been here a while. So
Yeah.
and so the hilarious part of this is the reason why I have my job as portfolio too is because he's the one that taught me what was needing to be done for this class and basically went, you do it. But okay, which program was it? The associates, bachelor's, 12-month? What was it? I just don't remember.
I actually had to wait 2 months because when I was first signing up, the bachelor's hadn't launched yet.
Right.
So I had just I had to wait a couple of months for the bachelor's to start. So it would just have become a bachelor's program.
And please tell these people how many months the bachelor's was.
Oh geez, I want to say it was like 29 at the time or something.
No, go
I don't
backwards.
even honestly, I don't even remember, man.
It was
it was 2007.
it was a 20-month program.
Oh
So it
yeah.
was a
Oh right,
year
right.
it was
Right.
almost a year less than
That's
what
right. Because I
DCBS
started
is right now.
Yeah, I started in April and I finished. I started in April 2006 and I ended in December 2007.
Okay, so you've got your degree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm fast forwarding up on this one.
So
You
not
got
only
your
did I get
degree.
my degree, I also started working for the Daily Buzz 2 weeks before I graduated.
And what was the Daily Buzz?
The Daily Buzz was a national morning show. By the time I left it, it was in 185 markets, including New York and LA.
And how long did you work for them?
Just under 4 years.
Yeah. And this was a
Yeah.
multi-cam production.
Yep, multi-camera morning news show.
Yeah.
We interviewed everybody. It was I absolutely loved that job. I hated my pay, but I loved the job. I met everybody from Miss America contestants to now ex-presidents
Didn't you
to
almost kill somebody running over them?
I did. One of my favorite story from the Daily Buzz. I actually tripped over Paula Abdul because she's really short and I'm like 6'4". I come running out of the control room and getting ready to make a quick left turn on the stage, and she's coming across the doorway at the same time, and I literally I just pow right into her.
So
Yeah.
you were actually working with film cameras during the degree.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were working with Panavision on there. Was that when they had the Panag? I'm sorry.
No, they had
I've
just
worked.
yeah,
they had
just switched out from Panavision because they'd got the Aries in.
Right. So they went. Okay. So you were in the time of the Airy camps.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they had just taken the plastic off of the I want to say it was the 16 or the 35, but one of the two, whatever one came in second, they literally it was the
if they
month
came in
before they
second,
took it
that
out of
was the
plastic.
16 on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he not only was dealing with all this stuff, the video side that he was dealing with was multicam on the Buzz. He had come from a film background of the wonderful threaded in through the sprockets and pray it doesn't shred in the camera on you. On that one, yes, my AC days, I'm starting to twitch on there. So you went from video to film back to multicam video.
Yep.
I'm going to ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
At the time you were on multicam video, what did you prefer, film or video?
So I've actually always preferred video.
Why?
Because I'm partially ADD and I need to see it right now. I need to be able to see and process what I'm doing right now. And one of the things that killed me about film is I had to send it away to somewhere and wait for it to come back. And video, I could pull it from when I first started, I could take the tape out of my camera, put it into a VHS player, and I could see exactly what I shot right then and there. So for me, I loved the ability to be able to see and use it now. Now, by the same token, I've shot I've actually shot quite a bit of film since then. I've got a 16 camera now, and I love film. Film's beautiful, but I'll still choose. I mean, unless the client really wants it, I'll still take video every time.
Ah, but now that's an interesting thing. You said if the client wants film, so
Mhm.
it's still client centric what you're having to deal with.
So here's the thing: everything's client centric.
Yes.
No matter, I don't care if you are shooting narratives for HBO. HBO is still your client. If they go, hey, the showrunner likes film, you're going to shoot on film. You look at them and go, yes, I will, because otherwise you're not shooting that show. Yeah, and it's
It's all
just kind of
about
how
the
that stuff
deliverables.
rolls. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say, although the quick thing I just want to say about that really quick,
Yeah.
a lot of people from an artistic standpoint always buck at the fact, and they get upset with the fact that people look at them and go, this is what I want or need from you. I have always seen it the other way around. If somebody looks at me and goes, I need you to do this camera or this aspect ratio or this lighting style or this piece, that is a challenge. Like, that is literally like somebody taking and throwing down the artistic gauntlet and going, come out of your box and make something amazing. I love that.
So you've got the video background, you've got the film background, you've gone multicam, you've gone through all this stuff. I'm going to ask you a question that got asked of me a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where the hell did all the teaching stuff come from? How did you wind up taking all of this backstory and becoming a teacher? Why would you join this insanity?
So you may remember I mentioned the part about the daily buzz I hated. It was the pay. I was doing, at the time I was doing a Chiron operator's job, which union scale for a Chiron operator started at $75 with zero experience at that time. I was still being paid $12.50 an hour.
Chiron is when you would actually see the titles on a television.
Yep.
On live broadcast.
Thank you.
Somebody actually typed it in, and when the word go was given on a live broadcast, these titles had to be ready and rolling on there, or it was your job. And you were going out live.
Yep.
Okay.
So I was very upset at the time because I was trying to raise a couple of kids, trying to make life work, and you can't make life work well on $12 an hour at the time. So I walked out the back door, and out the back door, they actually used to film on the Full Sail's lot. So when I walked out the back door, our back door was the back door of the old lighting soundstage. So we'd come out, they'd come out at the same time for a cigarette break, and we'd start complaining to each other. We both start complaining. They'd complain about students. They'd complain about whatever. I'd complain about the fact that I wasn't getting paid enough. And one day the guy looks at me and goes, do you just want to work here? We'll pay you more. And I thought back to when I was in that comic book convention. And when that guy said, hey, we'll pay you the same amount of money that you were looking for less work. And I went, this is a new opportunity and a new thing. I'll take it. And I started teaching.
What did you start teaching?
I actually started teaching lighting. My teaching career started, I was a lab instructor for lighting 1, 2, and advanced lighting. I think I was there maybe a couple of weeks, month tops, when one of the course both associate course directors had moved out of that class. One got promoted and the other one left Full Sail. And Grover Austin was the course director over everything there. And he basically lined up all the lab instructors and went, hey guys, we have 3 classes we have to teach this month. And these 2 classes happen at the same time, and I can't physically be in 2 rooms at once. Would one of you guys help? And being low man on the totem pole, I just stood there. I didn't say a word, stood there. And nobody said anything. And I just went, I'll do it. I'll go in the classroom. I won't let you do this alone. And that's how I got into like not only teaching, but eventually led me into administration.
What'd you do
Because
in admin?
admin, I've been everything from a department chair to a dean of education.
Okay. But you skipped a part there because you said that got you into admin. You skipped a part. Okay. Were you called or did you go to our, how should I put this? Our commander in chief of the digital cinematography program?
So I kind of got a call. Basically what it was happening was I was going to be promoted into the lighting department, and a few other things had happened, and someone else was moved over. And at that time was the same time that Bob was looking for instructors for DCBS. And Bob in the department chair I had at the time came to me and went, well, do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, I want another new challenge. Let's do an entirely new challenge thing. I love this. Let's do this.
See,
and that's why I got in with this a lot.
And that's what I was getting at on here is I'm listening to this going, here we go. I know he's going to reinvent himself again. And I didn't want you to jump over that one into when you said admin. I'm like, no, we're coming back. We're coming back. Okay. Because it has always amazed me that you went into admin on there because you are such a hands-on person on things. And I'll be point blank on this one. When they announced the digital cinematography degree, I went to Bob, I knocked on his door and said, you know that film criticism class that's in 26 months after you start? I'd like it. So I got to watch all of you get hired. So you basically were like, here's what's going on. So I got to ask, we've got a few more minutes left, and I do want to make sure we still get a chance for questions, but I got to ask. Admin. Why? What did you want to do with the admin? What were your goals on that? Because you can tell your goals going along for the stuff here, and all of our students here are on the technical line. DCBS is a technical and aesthetic degree, but there are the admin aspects of producing, of pre-production, of editing, that kind of thing. What made you want to go into admin after all this other experience?
It actually wraps really well back into that teaching philosophy. Being a teacher, there's a lot we go through, and there's a lot that we have to accomplish to make sure that a student has a good experience. And I saw that my friends were having a hard time, and things weren't being communicated well between management, which is, that's not really a bad thing. It's just things that happen. Like, nobody was like mean to anybody or anything, but there was something missing in the communication. And I did my best to fill that hole. I kind of came in and I'm like, well, here's what we're really trying to say. And I would reword things, or I would help. I would just try to help make sure that everyone had heard and understood what was being said. So it just kind of grew from there. And it went, I used to joke around with somebody, why do you keep promoting me when I keep telling you no? Because every time I turn around, I would tell this person would come to me with this crazy idea. And they were like, I say crazy, but I say crazy in a loving way. Like, it's I want to do something that is the stars and the moon, but I don't have everything in place to build it yet. And I was always the person that looked at them and went, we're not there yet. we got to build this first. Once we do this, you can have the moon. And that just kept growing.
So this takes me to the last piece of the puzzle that I wanted to get to on here. This is a gentleman that brought to this discussion a philosophy more than a technical, the aesthetic, the idea. And this is the thing that sometimes I feel gets missed with students starting up and with people that are going through their classes, is you've got to have that foundation of technical to grab that aesthetic on there. But you also have to realize you're not going to be the same person you were when you started, the same goals, the same aspirations, because he went on to doing admin. But Mr. Kavan, what is your current role in Full Sail?
And now I'm a faculty trainer.
So
now I teach your teachers.
Yeah, you're basically teaching the teachers. So you have now gone from being asked by a teacher, so going into school, and I was one of your teachers. So
Yes,
you have now gone into the idea where technically your job is to teach someone like me. So what do you feel you would like to teach an instructor? Not particularly me, but what is the one thing that you feel would be a great strength to bring to a teacher, since you're going in with this mindset?
Oh, that's super easy.
Yeah.
It actually really is. The experience that a teacher has, that a professional has, all we have to do is find the common language that you're going to work with for your target audience, for your student. That's it. We just need to be able to find the common language. And where a lot of things start to fall apart is when you have someone that has so much experience. And usually when you say so much experience, what you really mean is they have a lot of things to say. They have a lot of stories to share. They have a lot of examples to give. They have a lot of these pieces that they want to give. And especially in a place like Full Sail, we only have a very small window with people, very small window. And you have to literally take and give as much as you possibly can during this entire phase to make sure that the person on the other side of the screen or the other side of the class is grasping what they're supposed to be. If they're getting the outcomes of the class, they are learning and growing. They are maneuvering through the program correctly. And that can get really difficult. It gets difficult not only because just talking to people in general is hard, but the audience as a teacher you have changes every 3 to 5 years. So what I mean by that is how you engage an audience. So I'll start using terminology, filmmaking terminology. If I'm going to create, let's look at an action film made today. An action film made today has a target audience of what? Anybody here? I'm going to shoot a question out to you guys. If I'm making an action film today, does anybody know what the target audience is? Just like a basic one.
You can type it in.
But we got to go quick because I'm already over time and I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah, and we're going to get to questions. I'm going to allow for that one. Okay, they're sitting stunned.
Thank you. Males 1834. Fantastic. Good Googling.
And Jen goes broad with teen boys. So yep. Yes.
Good Googling. So teen boys.
Don't assume they Googled. I got your back, Thomas. I got it. I said it before you typed it.
Thomas, being a Google ninja is not a bad thing. Anyway, what I'm trying to say though, is that if I am going to create a film, and right now I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a film. I'm going to make an action-oriented film. It's going to take me 3 to 5 years to get my product in front of eyeballs. Because if you're going to make a feature film, it's most likely going to take you 3 to 5 years through the development stage all the way through post-production. Those are national averages. 5 years from now, it's Generation Alpha that's going to be 18, not millennials, not Gen X, not any of these other age groups, how they ingest media, how the cuts work, what camera angles, how they look at lighting, how they look at those pieces are all going to change, adapt, and grow. So what I do is go to the teachers and I go, okay, great. Your audience is adapting. What are their new ways of communication? Did they text message? Do they talk on the telephone? Do they use video chat? Is everything on Instagram? Is everything on LinkedIn? Is everything on Snapchat? Where are these people communicating? How are they talking? Because you want to make sure that the language that you're using and the visual style that you're using is going to be in harmony with your target audience.
So he's going to be dealing with instructors that are very good at digging their heels in on things because of certain ways they're used to doing things or their own philosophy. Because I can agree that Googling is a skill too, but I disagree with what happened with Mr. Kavan here. Is he immediately assumed that the person was drawing on Google and not their own knowledge and skills.
You're right. What I should have said was that was great job using chatbot GHT. You're absolutely right.
Don't even get me started.
I should have gone in the other direction.
Don't even get me started.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about tools. You have to be smarter than the tool you're using to use it. You have to. And Thomas, the fact that you knew that number is fantastic. I'm not going to take that away from you in any way, shape, or form. That's not my intention. When I say things like good Googling or whatever, it's usually because I'm in a situation like this where once we have dead air or something goes like that, you want to make sure you say something witty or you do something that gets the audience re-engaged. It's never a thing towards people. That being said, utilizing Google, utilizing search engines, utilizing artificial intelligence, utilizing any of these things as research tools is ways to communicate better, faster. It's no different than picking up a calculator. You still have to know what the formula is to put it into the calculator. Otherwise, it's just going to look at you with a bunch of keys going, use me. There's no way to do this. We could have an entire discussion about technology and tool utilization for filmmakers. I am part of a bunch of groups on how to utilize AI technology in film. And well, I should say visual media.
You don't want me to be the moderator on that one.
Here's the thing though. I hear that all the time. I hear that kind of stuff. And like, I see it as a challenge because what happens is that people instantaneously go, this is a problem. There's something here. When really what we need to do is go, why is this a problem? What is the perception of that problem? And that's how I'm going to be working with instructors and how I'm going to continue working with students too, is looking at it and going, what is your perception of this problem? Let's break it down and figure out what it actually is. Because the beauty of where I am now in my career, I don't have to be right or wrong. I just have to be able to have a conversation with you to be able to find out where we meet in the middle and how we can function. I don't have to be right or wrong. It's a beautiful part of where I am in my career now. And honestly, that's whether I'm working with other film producers or whether I'm working with teachers or anything else for that matter. I don't have to be right. It's beautiful.
And there's the fun part is because we all have the way we present things. And what I used to do that I think drove everybody nuts, including Mr. Kavan, is I always came up with the alternate, the devil's advocate scenario, because that's what I do. I look at the troubleshooting. I look at that one. So yes, that's what Mr. Kavan's going to be facing is teaching the teachers. So he has gone from standing outside a convention to now basically trying to teach somebody like me. Now I'm Jeff Goldblum. I like where I'm at, Jeff Goldblum from Independence Day. I'm happy where I am. So,
I thought it was The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
oh yeah, I forgot about that one. That is a good one also on there. But sometimes I'm like, I hear Will Smith in my ear. You really think you can pull off all that? Anyway, so thank you for the time here. But do you have time still for some questions? Because I
Yeah,
want to
I
be
definitely have
respectful of
time
your
for some.
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have time for questions.
All right. So clear communication is the key to understanding everything that can be built. Okay, so he's asking if this sounds right. Clear communication is a key to understanding, and everything can be built from that. Does that sound right? What do you think, Bill?
Yes.
Oh, give him a little more.
I well, I mean, honestly, they nailed it. I mean, I can expand, but it sound, especially for typing that in that way, I think they did a great job at it. Um, I think the only thing I would add to it is that the journey to clear communication is what you're looking for, because the process of getting that communication is usually where you find the best stuff. So if you're ever concerned with, I need to make sure that we're communicating clearly, other things are gonna, or things are not gonna work, or it's not gonna be the right time if I'm not ready for this. It's the process. Be a part of the process.
Okay, any other questions? Please feel free to type them in to the chat box. While people are typing, I'm basically going to ask Mr. Kavan a simple question.
Mhm.
Okay. How did it feel making the statement that you're not going to be teaching students, you're going to be teaching instructors? How does that make you feel going through that transition?
It's the same kind of butterflies that I had in my stomach when I went from working on a national morning show to working as a lab instructor. It's a new way to engage. It's a new way to work with people and a new way to help everybody on that road. Like, it's my personal philosophy is really, we have windows of time together. How long that window of time is, we don't know. It could be 5 seconds, it could be 500 years. We have no idea. But I know that if I take everything I have and I put it into that time frame, we are both going to walk away with having had a good experience. So whenever I'm come up to a teacher and that teacher is stonewall, totally against a new concept, I'm going to go right up to them and go right where they are and go, okay, great. Let's break this down, because there's a reason you feel this way. And you might not be wrong, but we won't know until after we go ahead and break that whole thing down and we take a look at it.
Okay,
And then it'll be during that conversation that we grow.
Sorry, I missed the lightning still staticking in your head.
It's okay. Overhead lighting gets me every time.
Well, I'm set with key fill and side lights, so I made sure to come prepared. So no, I'm kidding. I really thank you on this one. Comments have come in about thank you for sharing. Great interview. You can read them for who they're from on here. Okay, so I would like to go ahead and say I think Bill has given. Oh wait. Do you have any books or podcasts that you can recommend for an aspiring cinematographer?
Oh,
Go ahead. You can answer, even though we're the ones you should be referring. No, I'm kidding.
Blaine Brown. I absolutely love Blaine Brown's books. I also like Glenn Miller's work as well. His book, if you can you can probably find a digital copy of it somewhere. But it's lighting and camera for television. I think it's lighting and camera for television production. But one of the best versions of it is like the second or third edition from the late 80s, which sounds stupid, but the basic tenets of cinematography, like how lighting works from emotional perspectives, like if I put a light here, it's going to generally make your audience feel X, Y, or Z. Hasn't changed a lot. It's moved, but like it hasn't, and we haven't night and dayed everything yet, basically. And the graphs that are in there, and just some of the different drawings and renderings and stuff that are in there are just, they're really great, and they just didn't make it in the other books. So I highly suggest that.
And the rules of Kelvin temperature still apply no matter what fixture you're going to be in on this one. I did something that I'm going to admit for here, because Bill, you'll appreciate it for the lighting. I was in a meeting, I was in a Zoom meeting with our group, and I had light coming in through the window over here on my side. So I didn't need my key light, but when something went behind a cloud, I've got a remote control, and I very, very quietly grabbed the remote control and turned on the key light because I didn't like how I looked on camera on there.
Nice.
Because I have set my key light to match the window, but that's because I'm used to a particular look, I wanted a particular feel for this. And that's one thing that I'd like people to also take away from Mr. Kavan's thing, is a lot of this he was talking about was from the gut, from the feeling. That's another thing you have to develop, is trust your instincts. If it feels not quite right, adjust it. Figure out why it doesn't feel quite right. Figure out why chat, whatever it's called, it doesn't feel right to you. Yeah, that's me. Hi. Okay, so I basically filled some time to allow people to type in questions. So since I haven't seen anything, I'm going to go ahead and thank Mr. Kavan, and I'm going to stop the archive recording and basically let Bill say his goodbyes to the live group. So to the people that are watching the recording, have a great day, morning, afternoon, or evening. Goodbye.